What's up, guys? It's very good to see you people in the chat. Let me know that you are seeing and hearing me all right. It's always nice to know. All right, thank you, Manu. We have confirmation. So I'm doing a live stream here without having too much of a plan and not too much direction. I had this idea, and yeah, so for anyone watching now live or in the future, I've been doing the Scarguitar Show exclusively for my patron members, and it's been good fun, and it's always a good hang. But sometimes I feel like it would be nice to let some of this, seep out into the world outside of my Patreon. So I'm kind of trying a new thing here to live stream directly to my YouTube community as well. And so there's that. So I'm here to take questions. I'll be happy to do some Q&A. I have a few topics that I think could be worth just talking a little bit about. And then I want to jam a bit. And I asked my Patreon community to send me some backing tracks. I got one, but I only posted this a few hours ago, so I guess the rest either didn't want to bother with it, or they didn't have the time, or they haven't even seen the post yet. But yeah, before we start, speaking of my Patreon, it's that time of the year when all the businesses, large and small, try to make big sales by doing Black Friday, Black Week, Black November, Black this and that. And yeah, I couldn't help myself. I'm doing it as well. I'm doing a Black Week kind of thing on Patreon. So anyone who want to go for an annual membership, if you know that maybe you're already a member, or you just know that it's gonna be something for you, it's 30% off for a full year. And if you are interested in doing like lessons, I have a tier now that's called private coaching. That's pretty awesome. If you want to do that, or if you want to do the guest solo tier, where you after a year I'll record a solo for you, one of your songs, that could be a good time to do it. And for new members, there's also a discount on some of the tiers. If you want to try it out, a discount on the first month. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, so enough of my sales pitch, and let's go into another sales pitch. I see comments about my guitar. I'm actually did point one of my lights on it. I actually tried to set up some lights here to make me look less bleak and pale. I'm not sure that I succeeded, though. I look pretty pale. I suppose that's what I'm looking like. I have the complexity of a vampire. But yeah, this is my new Strandberg guitar. And maybe it's not the best idea to wear a black t-shirt. It kind of makes the guitar disappear. If you don't have a light on it, it's gonna just blend into the rest of me. But luckily, I'm all white and pale and bleak, so we got that for contrast. So this has been out for, I suppose, a couple of weeks now, and I've talked about it on live streams and stuff before, but hey, why not do it again? So this is the latest iteration of my Strandberg Singularity, my signature guitar. So this guitar has been, made for my specifications and my needs. And anyone who have seen my previous guitars have know that I have had those squiggly wiggly frets, and this one doesn't have that. And those frets are called True Temperament. I love them with all my heart. They are great. Now when I play without them, I'm missing them a little bit. But we wanted to make a model that was a little bit more affordable. It's actually a lot more affordable than the last model. Also, we went for a double humbucker configuration instead of the humbucker single coil humbucker thing I used to have. So that is also affecting the price of the thing a little bit, because these pickups are a bit expensive. So it's a cool guitar, and it's called Pitch Black. This is actually a prototype, so there's one little tiny detail that has changed for the actual production model, and that is the text on the Lundgren pickups. It's now dark gray, so and the dark gray really blends in, so it makes the guitar look like really pitch black, and which is the name of the guitar, the Strandberg Bowden Singularity NX7 Pitch Black. So that's pretty cool. Oh, and the pickups are called the Anomaly by Lundgren Guitar Pickups, and it's my signature pickup, and they sound incredible. They are super versatile, work for everything, but they really, really shine on lead things. So, and you can get these pickups without getting the guitar if you go to Lundgren Guitars. Lundgren.se, I think that the name is. Anyway, I have one song that I'm gonna improvise over that my member Joey sent in, but I'm gonna look at the live chat now and look at some of your questions. Is that a singularity? Yes. So I think I covered that. How did you approach the Atavachron improv soloing you posted the other day? Are you constantly thinking of all the scales over the shifting chord changes, or does it become natural to you? At this point, and I think that if you listen to that video I posted when I improvised over the song, I think it's fairly obvious that I played the song before. Let's put it like that. So I'm very familiar with those chord changes. First, from having listened to the song for 25 years before actually attempting to play with those chord changes. And if you don't know, it's an Alan Holdsworth track. It's the title track from his late 80s or mid 80s album Atavachron. And the song has got just a crazy amount of chords, and it just modulates and modulates. And there's some really tricky chords, because it starts like in B flat minor, and then it jumps to A major, which it's like not really related at all, and going from that is really tricky. So I've just played that song and along with playing the guitar for 40 years, I've been playing that song a lot, and I obviously I know the chords, by heart, so I don't have to look at a chord progression like written down or something. So whenever I play, I always know what the next chord is gonna be. So whatever I play, I can prepare my line to lead into the next thing, which I think it's like a super important thing of improvising. And there are a few things that I love to do. So there's a part where what's the chord? Is this? Yeah, it's a C. It goes to C sharp minor, and that's the chord progression. And then it goes to C sharp major. So I love to, when it's in C sharp minor, and then it goes through these chords. I love to start playing the C sharp major that is coming next. I love to start playing that a little bit earlier. So on this chord, which belongs to C sharp minor, I start playing C sharp major. And when you hear it like that, it sounds weird, right? But when this hits, it's super gratifying, because it's like when you do that, when you're like almost starting the next chord before it has even hit, and you resolve it like that, it's super gratifying, and it's like, for me as a listener, when I hear players that do that, it makes me feel like this player really knows what they're going. It's like you take command of the chord progression and of the melody lines and where they are going. So the listener never have to be, feel unsure or something. So I kind of dig that. So next question. Have I ever tried True Temperament plus Evertune on the same guitar? I have not. I know that there are a few people who have installed both True Temperament and Evertune on their guitars, and from what I've heard, talking like to the True Temperament people, True Temperament it's calibrated for a regular like guitar, a regular bridge, and the thing that Evertune is compensating for, like every time you press down the string, you, by just pressing down the string, it might not seem like you are doing a lot when you're pressing down, but you actually change like the tension of the string, and you're pulling on the string a little bit, so you're messing with the pitch of the string, and Evertune is compensating that, but by keeping the tension equal no matter what you do. So that means that True Temperament is then, that problem is compensated for twice, which means that you are gonna go a tiny bit out of pitch. So I don't know how big of a like pitch shift that would be. I've never tried it, but yeah, I think you should choose one of the systems. And I've tried Evertune, and it works really, really well, and it's a cool thing. For some things, when you set it so that the notes you cannot even bend and nothing happens, no matter how much you pull the strings or how hard you hit. That is kind of cool for certain things, like if you're recording like guitar parts where you really want to hit the strings hard, where you want to have the sound of absolutely punishing the strings which can be super cool in like metal music. And if you don't have Evertune, you know, your notes are gonna go, they're gonna go sharp for a bit. Like you hit the note heavy and it's gonna be like bam, you know. And that's also a sound that we are used to. So it can actually be kind of weird to not have that. But for certain things, Evertune is really cool, and it for sure helps with intonation a lot. Even though for me, like True Temperament works really well. It's just like two different solutions to a similar problem. And now I'm here with a guitar with none of these. So now I'm here in having problems. But I mean, this guitar intonates as well as any other guitar that doesn't have True Temperament and Evertune. So there's that. Probably even a little bit better than some, because it's a multiscale. So, and multiscale helps a little bit with tension. You have like, since you have a longer scale on the bass strings, you can have thinner gauges on the low strings, which helps for tone and for intonation, I think. All right, so let's see next one. Will there be an 8-string version? There are no such plans. We discontinued my 8-string signature model when I stopped touring with Meshuggah, because that guitar was sort of made for the Meshuggah gig, and I never really played 8 strings before Meshuggah, and I kind of stopped playing 8 strings after Meshuggah. I don't particularly enjoy playing 8-string guitars a lot. I enjoyed playing with Meshuggah a lot. That was a lot of fun. So, but especially the increased scale length. That one that I had was 26.5 on the treble side. This one is 25.5, and the low 8-string was 28, and this is 26.25. So quite a lot longer on the low end, and the guitar sounds fantastic, and you get really cool, like, yeah, you get like the right kind of tension or so for playing that kind of music. But yeah, I'm really like a 7-string player. But who knows? I mean, this guitar seems to have been pretty successful so far since its release, and I know the people at Strandberg, they are super happy with how this guitar turned out, and there's been like just a ton of, you know, good press and good vibes around it. So who knows? I mean, I wouldn't mind there being, you know, 6-string version, 8-string version, ukulele version, whatever they want to do. It's fine with me. And especially with this guitar, since I've, aside from the cool, good looks and everything, this one has a special neck profile that is a little bit different from the rest of the Strandberg guitars, because it's a little bit rounder. It's got that weird trapezoid thing, but it's rounded off, so it's very nice. It's super smooth, and for my hands, it's like probably the best kind of neck profile I ever played. It's just super comfortable. So, and I actually do. I don't really play a lot of 8-string, as I said, but I play a little bit of 6-string, and I talked about that before. But I have a 6-string. I wonder if I have it here. No, I have it in my storage space. But I have a 6-string that is set up in fifth tuning. So it's tuned from a low G, lower than this B, and the highest string is an F sharp. So you have basically like the range of an 8-string, pretty much. Yeah, and I played that guitar a bit. Now it's been a little bit since I played it, but it's super cool. It's super interesting playing in a very different and alien kind of tuning. So yeah. So I know when I told Ola Strandberg about that, he was like, little bit interested, and maybe we should. So I don't know. Send Ola love letters that they need to do a 6-string. I mean, they are a business, so it's all, considerations and calculations and on what kind of things to release and so on. So Great Devoid asks, have you ever thought of including a floating bridge for the Singularity? I have gotten that question a lot, and I haven't really thought about it a lot, and I haven't really been a fan of playing floating bridges for a long time. I pretty much stopped using tremolos after we recorded the Pitch Black Progress album with Scarguitar, because we included that song, Pitch Black Progress, which is in drop A. So we started messing with drop tunings, and that has become like something we've been using a lot. So we're using both drop tuning and standard tuning, which means that if you have a floating bridge, it's kind of annoying to set up, and you need to bring twice as many guitars, and then that's going to cost more, and we are already losing money whenever we play. So I just went with having a fixed bridge. And even like the last few years when I was playing a guitar with a floating bridge, I never bothered having the bars, in the guitar. I was just like, sometimes I grabbed a note and I just like took my hand on the bridge and did like a vibrato by just pulling the bridge with my hand. So I've never really missed a tremolo, but last time I was at Strandberg, which wasn't all that long time ago, I tried one of their new guitars, which had a tremolo, and I absolutely loved it. And yeah, I can't remember having played a guitar with a tremolo that I really enjoyed that much. So it made me think like, maybe it's something that I should start doing again. I don't know. We'll see, but it's kind of a little bit on my mind. So, but for Scarguitar, I'm probably gonna stick with fixed bridges because it's just so easy. So maybe it depends on what powers to be at Strandberg, what they want to do. Let's see. What do we have more? What are my favorite synthesizers? Are you able to play your awesome phrasing on keyboard too? That's a great question. My keyboard skills are limited. There's certain things I can do, but I struggle playing with both hands on the keyboard at the same time. I always like miss notes, and I'm just sloppy. Let's see. Yeah, I can play like melody lines like that a little bit, But playing like a keyboard player do when they can play piano things and play with both hands, that's not something I really can do. I always kind of had a dream of being a keyboard player because I just love the sound of it and all the things you can do, and just the layout of it just makes sense, like how all the notes just are there, and it's like middle C. It's just like in one place, and on a guitar you have like E, and you have it like in 6 different places, and in a way it's just a mess like that. And for my favorite synthesizer, I really like my Nord Stage. It's a Nord Stage 2. It's a great one. It's like the actual keyboard is great. Other than that, I'm not sure I have any favorites. I have like a ton of different VST instruments that I like to use in my productions, and I bought a bunch of new ones lately when I got the Linstrument. Oops. Sorry. I'm about to throw. Well, was about to throw that glass on the floor, which would have been pretty messy during a live stream. All right, digging up this guy. So when I bought this instrument some time ago, the instrument, I bought a whole bunch of different VST plugins just to have more things to, because that's a MIDI controller, so to have more sounds to play with. So now I just have tons of different software synthesizer that I don't know too much about. So no favorite ones really. All right. Can you also please do more of the Cubase project breakdowns? I love the details and obviously your settings, which sound amazing. On that note, do you happen to have any acoustic guitar recordings? No, I don't. I haven't really made any like exclusive acoustic guitar recordings. I can say that I have. The closest thing is my solo song Always from earlier this year, which was kind of based on a like a chord, like a finger picked thing, and on the recording it's like acoustic guitar and electric guitar. But it's then in that case the acoustic guitar is more for layering. But I bought this little guitar from a friend recently. I wish this one had true temperament. So, yeah, and this guy is kind of tricky to play because it's so tiny. It's difficult fitting in the fingers. I was speaking of the acoustic guitar. I was talking with a friend of mine from Norway, and we were talking about Norway's pretty much their national anthem. It's not their national anthem, but it's the most famous Norwegian song of all time, and it's the it's that one, Take on Me. So, and we were talking one night, and I started thinking, like, what about if you could take that song and just go through like as many key centers as possible. Just like every couple of bars you just modulate in a way that makes sense. So I've been nurturing this idea that I would eventually do a cover of that song where I just keep modulating. Maybe I won't ever get around to do that, but I just love that kind of stupid idea. I haven't really recorded a lot of actual covers. I've done, improv covers where I got a hold of a backing track or something and I play over it, but I haven't really done covers. And that's something that sometimes I'm thinking maybe I should do covers of people's music, but maybe not the expected covers. Maybe I shouldn't do like a Holtorf cover. I should do for example, an Aha cover, and people would be scratching their heads and burn all my albums. Now it's I've been talking for well over half an hour, so it's time to jam on a tune. I've never heard this track. I was sent it by my Patreon member Joey. Shout out to Joey for being the only one who sent me a track to jam over. By the way, hey, if anyone currently watching this in the chat, if you have a track if you can find a track like on YouTube that you would like me to play over here on the stream, just copy paste the link and see if I can if I can open it. I should be able to, and yeah, and we'll have some fun. I'm thinking the stream is probably gonna go on for another hour at least. We'll see. So, but this track is the channel is called Backing Tracks by Tim. The track is called Pliny-inspired atmospheric modern progressive metal backing track in A minor, 100 BPM. So A minor. That's nice, that we have a starting point. So let's see what's happening. suffice. That was 4 minutes, and the track goes on for 10 minutes. So the channel is called Backing Tracks by Tim. Pliny-inspired atmospheric modern progressive metal backing track in A minor. So check that out. Sorry. So I've been having a little bit of a cold for over a month now. It's not all that bad, but it's just never really leaves me. So, another question. Your tone is extra juicy tonight. Thank you. Thank you, great devoid. My tone is not devoid of juice. I agree. What plugin module are you using, and can I have the settings? I'm using... what am I using? I'm using Archetype Pliny. And I'm not really doing anything special. I have the drive pedal on with the settings are like at noon. The drive is a little bit lower than noon, and same the amp. all the knobs are pointing up. I'm using like the high gain amp, and all the settings are basically at noon, except for treble and presence that are like a tiny bit lower. And I'm just using like the 57 microphone, no post EQ. It's like it's almost like the default setting of the amp. And then I guess a part of the sound is that I'm running it through a delay and reverb. I'm actually not using the reverb, the delay and reverb from the Pliny plugin. Not that there's nothing that there's anything wrong with those. It's just that I have a setup that I like to use, and this delay is just the Cubase built-in ping pong delay. That, it's ping ponging in between the speakers, so it gives you a lot of width. And then there's a reverb, and nothing more fancy than that. So it's almost, it's not a preset to even share. It's so basic. Of course, it's this guitar that you need to buy this with the last of your money, and then you will have the tone. And I am kidding, of course. If you have a Singularity 7 Red Blast today, what would be my sales pitch for you to get a pitch black as well? Probably don't get it, because it's pretty much the same guitar, aside from the frets and the looks, and it's pretty much the same pickups and everything. So if you don't need another guitar, you don't get anything that you're not already having. So there's that. Yes. Let me see. There's a lot of action in the live chat today. I dig that. It's very nice of you. Yes. Will this live stream be available on YouTube afterwards as well? Indeed, it will. It will be for perpetuity, which means forever and ever, and your grandchildren will be able to go back and watch this, and 1,000 years from now they can dig this up from the early ages of shreddom. All right. So what else was I thinking about? Current events. So I had a current event this last Friday. It's so this is, I suppose, the season of Thanksgiving. I'm Swedish, as you might be aware, so we don't typically celebrate Thanksgiving. But I've been to the US a lot, and I have a lot of US friends, and I've actually been fortunate enough to have been invited in the US to families who have served me Thanksgiving, and it's been very nice, and kind of it's like the Thanksgiving food is like vaguely reminiscent of some Swedish food. You got the mashed potatoes with the gravy, which we have, with our meatballs, but they have the turkey. And they have the cranberry jam, which is kind of, in the same. It's like a cousin of lingonberry jam. So it's but then you have like the sweet potato casserole with marshmallows on top, which is good, but it's a bit of an acquired taste. So, anyways, this Friday, me and my wife, we went to the city of Falun, which is like an hour from where we live, and we were invited to Thanksgiving with Daniel and Christine from Twilight Force. Christine also sings with Temperance. So they are kind of new friends of us, super sweet people, and Twilight Force is pretty much a new favorite band of mine. And so this is the music recommendation of the evening. You need to check out Twilight Force and their song To the Stars. When I discovered that song a few years ago now, I became absolutely obsessed with it. I mean, I'm sure you can all relate. You're all music lovers, I suppose. So you have all experienced that thing when you hear a song and you listen to the song, and once it's over, it's like fuck it, I need to just put it on repeat. So I had it for a few weeks. It was like every morning when I woke up, I just grabbed my phone and put it on, next to me in bed, like, it's so good. So we went to their place and was treated with a magnificent Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah, so tasty. And Daniel played us some of his orchestral arrangement for some new Twilight Force songs. And that guy, he is... Yeah, Twilight Force, they are the ones dressing up as trolls and elves. And their guitar players, Galen and Bradley, are insane. They are absolutely insane, both of them. You might know Bradley, he's a famous YouTuber, Bradley Hall, I think his name is. He does like a lot of comedy things, but he's an amazing player. And Daniel, he's a ridiculous orchestrator. The things he does, like when he played like the orchestrations that are gonna sit, behind heavy drums and layers of guitars and bass and screaming power metal vocals, and it's just so insanely detailed. I love to like layer and orchestrate things as well, but I just turn on a full strings patch and I arrange something, and that's that, and I'm happy with that. But he's like, there's all these details and layers, and yeah, super interesting to be able to look into the Cubase project of someone that I admire, and someone who does something that I don't really do. I find that really, really cool. So yeah, and we were so full with Thanksgiving food, I didn't eat until Saturday evening. So that was good. Yeah, and some other news you might have seen. Scarguitar guitar player, my co-guitar player in Scarguitar, Mr. Stephen Platt, he is now touring with Evergrey, which is super exciting. Mostly for him, I suppose, but also for me, because he's my buddy, and the Evergrey guys are also my friends. So I think that's a really cool match. And I'm not sure why Henrik, who is the Evergrey guitar player, he's sitting out this tour, or I think they said that he's taking time off from the band, so I don't really know what that means. He's also a very good friend of mine. So yeah, but it's I'm seeing every day now when they're on tour. I'm seeing video clips of Steven shredding on stage with them. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So yes, I'm gonna find another track to play over. I think the track that I played over was pretty cool. So I think I'm gonna give this channel a little look and see. Joe Satriani style uplifting melodic rock backing track. These titles, they seem like and this is not like a slight to the guy who does this channel, but the titles seem like AI generated because they are so generic. Atmospheric, emotional, epic, melodic metal ballad. Sleep Token inspired atmospheric melodic. Like every track reads like that, and I know this because I've been messing with a like an AI powered. It's like a website, because I do like live streams like this one. I have an archive of them, and I need to cut those up into shorts, to stay in the focus of the YouTube algorithm. You have to produce a lot of content, and I don't want to be browsing through 100 hours of live streams to just get 20 or 40 seconds of something that I can use to post as a YouTube short. That's just like, and I don't have the money to hire someone to do things like that. I know like the big YouTubers, some of them have like a staff with people who do that for them. So I've been trying this thing out, and it works pretty well. So it analyzes the video, and then it gives you suggestions for like, maybe this could be an interesting thing for a short video. So, and then you can edit it to your liking within the interface. It's called Opus Clip, and then it does automatic subtitles and captions, and you can tweak the subtitles. Sometimes it doesn't get things right, and you can tweak things to your liking. But then the titles and captions they deliver, some of them are so cringe, and I was having a lot of fun with one of them when it said like guitar solo. Can this bald man, can this bald man make music magic? And that was silly enough that I kept it for the video, and I dug that. But I try to come up with my own titles and have fun with that. Yeah. So all right. So I'm gonna grab another track. I'm gonna do the Joe Satriani style uplifting melodic rock backing track in F major. I'm gonna do another one. That's a great idea with a Toto one. So I don't know how many tracks this account has. It doesn't have anything with Toto. Yeah, and I'm not gonna spend time searching for a Toto backing track because you know, if you have ever searched for backing tracks, you have to go through a lot of absolute shit. Sorry for using such harsh language. G minor, spacey, enigmatic, progressive rock backing track in G minor. That's a good key. 175 BPM. I like the sound of this. Yeah, it's a little bit slow. It's a little bit. Could use something more upbeat. I'm looking here on YouTube. What do you know? think that's enough Toto for now. But hey, that was fun. That was fun. So anyone who showed up here thinking they would hear a little bit of Scarguitar and Meshuggah, and they heard Toto, yeah. Now you know. Now you know what the deal really is. Yeah, so I've had that thought of doing covers. I actually did a cover of this song that not a lot of people have heard, and I did an a cappella version, meaning only vocals, of this very track. After I did my second tour with Meshuggah, it was the best of times, that tour, and during the tour, like late night partying, I got back into the tour bus, a few beers in my belly, and everyone was having a good time, and I often found myself bursting out in vocals, and a lot of the time I sang a song and I changed the lyric, to fit with one of the guys in the band or the crew. So I was singing like, all I want to do is see your eyes. And then instead of Rosanna, I could sing like Jens Kidman, the singer of Meshuggah. Jens Kidman. And he was like, fuck off. You're embarrassing me. He didn't use that kind of language, but his eyes used the equivalent of what that would be in a stare. So that was a lot of fun. So I came home from that tour, and I was sitting in my studio trying to work on something real and proper, but I couldn't get that song out of my head. And I opened Cubase, like, all right, I'm gonna have 100 vocal tracks, and then I took my phone and I started by like, and I made the worst beatboxing attempt in the world. But I used it, and then I layered that beatboxing with like more like kind of samples that I did, where like cupping the mic in the middle, did things, and made it sound cool. And then I just layered tons of vocals, like bass lines and chords, and sang the melody and changed Rosanna to Jens Kidman, and then I sent it to the guys, and like the response I got was like, "You are weird," which was awesome. That was pretty much what I was going for. So someday I might reveal that song to the public. So two other things that I just saw. Arch Enemy is gonna have a new singer, and so will Angra. I'm always, I don't have any inside info on any of these things, but I saw that Alyssa is leaving Arch Enemy. Scarguitar toured with her previous band. What the fuck were they called? His name escapes me. She had a band back in Canada before she joined Arch Enemy. I can't remember the name, but we did a tour supporting Epica, and they were opening, and we were the direct support band, like the band that playing right before the headliner, and I remember she put on like an amazing show every night, which was she really stood out as being quite something extra with her stage presence, like having that kind of huge stage presence, even in such a like tiny package. She like had just like a really amazing control over the stage and the crowd, and so that's what's kind of cool. So and her band was great, but I wasn't surprised really to see her getting snapped up by a bigger band. So I thought that was cool for her wonder what's gonna happen now. And you always kind of know what happened, and but that's up to them. And then Fabio Leone from Angra is stepping out of the band. Yeah, the Agonist. Thank you. And they were a cool band, like with the I can't remember her name either, but the singer they got after Lisa, she was great as well. That was like an equally great singers situations, which is good when that happens. But yeah, Angra is parting ways with Fabio, and we don't know why. But they are doing a show where, like, the previous singer is gonna be. I think both singers are gonna do the shows. Do that show. So, and Kiko is doing that show. So makes you wonder if Kiko is coming back to Angra or what's happening. Are they gonna be 3 guitars player then? Are they gonna go Iron Maiden on us? I think that would be cool, but I don't have a say in the matter. I was a huge fan of Angra's Holy Land album that I got that must have been like the mid-90s or so, and I don't even know why I got it. It's just something that I like bought at the local record store. Seemed like a good idea, and then I listened to it and I really loved it. So that was cool. So that's it's always interesting to see other bands what they do. And Angra, a couple of years ago, I was at the Sweden Rock Festival in Sweden. We were there doing press for the latest Scarguitar album, and I was there the day before the rest of Scarguitar showed up. So I was just walking alone and didn't know what to do. And I was standing in line to the catering, and Sweden Rock Festival they have the best catering of any festival that I've been to, pretty much. It's like a 3-course, really, really nice dinner, and you get a menu, and you choose, do you want to go for the tenderloin, or do you want to have the halibut, or so on and so forth. And I was standing in line, expecting to eat all of my own on my own, and then I saw the Angra guys, and I know a couple of them a tiny little bit from before, so I just went up to them. Hey guys, can I sit with you? And I got to, and they were super sweet, all of them, including Fabio. Seemed like a great guy. So Angra, they saved me from loneliness and being socially awkward by myself. So I'm gonna forever treasure that moment. And yeah. So yeah, question here. Per, did you ever have a Metallica era? Or was that just us 80s kids who went through that? I did have a Metallica era. So I was born in 1974. So when I started being interested in the guitar, which was when I was like 10, that kind of came like right after I had started becoming interested in music that was not, kids music, or like bullshit Swedish radio pop of that era. So Metallica was one of the bands that came onto my radar pretty early, and I love them. Yeah, basically from Ride the Lightning. So that was hugely important. And I remember when Justice for All was released, and I met a friend, and he was like, "Have you heard the new album?" No, I'm like, let's go buy it, and standing in line at the record store, picking it up, and we probably didn't. We couldn't wait to get home, so we asked to listen to it at the store, and that was a different time for sure. So yeah, I was a little bit confused when they released the Black Album, because everything seems so simplified, and at that time I had already started like interesting myself in much more progressive music. So, but yeah, amazing band. Actually, when during my time with Meshuggah, we went to see Metallica play in the Globe, a huge arena in Stockholm, and it was cool. It was a good show, but the thing is that they toured. I mean, they have a big crew. I mean, I don't know how many trucks they come with and how much personnel they have that build their stage for them and so on. But one thing they are bringing on tour is their own bartender, which is kind of insane. So they set up a VIP area for their guests. So, and we were guests of Metallica, so I didn't meet any of them, but we were watching the show, and all of us were like, so free drinks in the VIP area. So we kind of missed a big chunk of the show because free drinks, right? Was cool, and we saw some other famous people that made the same decision as we did. So that was kind of cool. All right. Please do a Metallica cover. I don't think that's on the bingo card, but who knows? Who knows? Like when I think about covers that I want to do, I'm not feeling like I want to do covers of songs that were played with like guitar as a main instrument. I much rather make covers of like cool songs from the 80s, pop songs. I don't know, Whitney Houston, things like that. That would be cool. And one idea I had for covers, like, let me know what you think, would be to do covers of songs that I dig. You know, maybe I'll sing a little bit and do, you know, kind of crazy vocal arrangements and whatnot. And then, you know, when you're done with the chorus, I just go straight into soloing for 10 minutes. Just absolutely obliterate the song with just soloing. I think that would be stupid and fun. And yeah, probably the worst idea ever. But I am allowing myself to have fun in this day and age. All right, so getting a reference here to an old record store, Skiv in the town where I grew up and where I live now since a few years. I went to Skiv in a little bit, but I think we spent more time at a store called Expert because they had records and they had home computers. They had the Commodore 64, things like that. So they had like a lot of the things that I was interested in at the time, which was super cool. Super cool. So I think this is a good place to end the thing. I'm gonna jam on another track. I'm just gonna randomly select whatever. Maybe I'll do one of my tracks. Someone asked me about a Tavakron, so let me jam a little bit on a Tavakron for a few minutes, and then some final words, and then we'll all go our separate ways. Separate ways. So, final look at the chat. Per, is the NX launch music available somewhere through Patreon? So, so you mean the 5 pieces of music that I did a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when Strandberg released their updated NX models they did for their guitars, the Bowden Metal, Prog, Fusion, Standard, and Original. I think the names of the songs are. And they are not available anywhere but on YouTube. So they are not available on Patreon. I never really thought of doing, anything with them except letting Strandberg have them for those promotional videos. And it's kind of cool, the song that I did for the metal guitar. That video kind of became viral, and it's weird because I think that's the least interesting of those 5 tracks I did. Now, of course, it's not all about my song. It's about the guitar, and maybe more people are interested in the Bowden Metal. But yeah, that video is, and it has like 1.5 million views, which is like several times more views than anything else on the Strandberg Guitars YouTube channel. So, which is cool. And then I did a song, and we did a video for their updated metal guitar, which also got a lot of traction, but not that kind of crazy spread. So you never know how things work out. But anyway, thank you for hanging with me. It's been like an hour and 20 minutes. I think that's a great place to stop, so we can all go back to have a life again. But I love this. I love doing these live streams, and I love taking questions. And now I didn't have. I mean, I know a lot of you in the chat are Patreon members, but yeah. So the idea, if I do more of these public live streams, I'm gonna have my Patreon community. They're gonna be able to ask questions and things, and bring up like topics in advance that I can discuss, and send me tracks to play over. So to have that as a feature, because they are, they are paying a little bit every month to be part of the community. So I wanna give them some perks if they are interested. I never got to check out that version of Alien Hip Hop. No, I did not. Yes. Yeah, I'm referring to the live chat, if you didn't get that. And I think I looked for that song, but I couldn't find it. Send it to me if you have a link to it. But for now, I'm gonna go and get ready for bed. It's late here in Sweden. The time is 22 past 22. That's like an omen or something. So with that said, much love, everyone. Take good care of yourselves. All the best for this coming week. I wish you all the success and good times that you can have. And I'll see you on the next one.